I don't ask Christy to take her and do everything. You know, Christy is there in case I need her, but for the most part, I'm rocking it, and as they say, I'm just doing the damn thing. Like, I've got my big girl panties on. I'm a mom now, and I'm taking my responsibilities seriously. But you know, nobody sees that stuff, so you know.
We're diving into one of the most dramatic and controversial moments in Gypsy Rose Blanchard's life, her journey into motherhood. From the early days of her pregnancy to the birth of her daughter, Aurora, Gypsy's story has been met with waves of public reaction, scrutiny, and emotion. Using her own words from recent interviews and transcripts, we'll uncover the highs, lows, and challenges of her new role as a mother. But as we explore her narrative, we'll also examine inconsistencies, weigh her claims against expert opinions, and question whether the image she presents aligns with reality. Let's dive in. Gypsy begins her story with a tone of pride and preparation, emphasizing her commitment to her baby from the very start. Anytime I talked to Gypsy, she was always doing something for the baby, preparing for this, preparing for that, a source close to her stated.
Had a conversation, and like we kept going back and forth because there was a little bit of miscommunication between him and I after she was born. You know, if we were able to keep it hush hush, not because I wanted to hide anything, but I was like, I want us to actually be happy in this moment and not have to worry about Nina said this or conspiracy said that, or you know, Ivory Rose Grows Wild said that in this room, or
y'all wanted time for that. Just y'all.
Yes, we wanted to have a moment to actually be normal as people and be happy in the moment at the birth of our child. So I'm like, to have a few days of just calm peace with nothing being said was the goal. And then he was like, I'm so excited, you know, I would really like to announce.
Gypsy herself claimed she had thoroughly prepared for motherhood, saying, I have all the books, like What to Expect When You're Expecting. I read that throughout my pregnancy. And then I have the What to Expect in the First Year book. Ken has his set of books too.
Across a lot of videos, like my algorithm is all baby stuff now.
That's awesome.
I reposted this one video that is so relatable. And it's with the transfer from arm to bassinet, and like you hold your breath hoping that it'll go a smooth transition and they'll stay asleep. I was like, this is super real.
That's so funny. I'm so glad that you what's in your algorithm though.
Yeah, it's like all baby videos, because Google has been my best friend. Like, I have all the books. I have like the What to Expect When You're Expecting. I read that throughout my pregnancy. And then I have the What to Expect in the First Year. And Ken has his set of books as well. So it's like we're reading the books, and then if we don't know something, like we'll Google it and things like that.
Yes.
On the surface, this seems like a responsible step. However, experts argue that simply owning or reading parenting books doesn't equate to true preparedness. Parenting involves consistent application of knowledge and emotional readiness, not just theoretical understanding. Psychologically, Gypsy's emphasis on the books may indicate a desire for external validation, projecting an image of competence to counter lingering public skepticism about her ability to parent. Was this genuine preparation, or an effort to reinforce her narrative of transformation? Gypsy also stated, if we don't know something, we'll Google it. While it's common for new parents to seek information online, relying solely on internet searches can be risky. Without professional guidance or cross-referencing credible sources, misinformation can spread easily. Could this approach reflect a lack of deeper readiness for the complexities of parenting? She further shared, we even started therapy to make sure we're doing what's best for us and the baby.
And like y'all went to, y'all started therapy and doing that for y'all and for the baby, and and then getting that little binder that you put together, preparing yourself for that if it ever that was to happen. The books, the fact that, and I love that Ken is so supportive, and Ken is
He's
one of the most
so
amazing men I've ever met.
He's been so wonderful and supportive. Like, I really am just blown back, and that just makes me more in love with him, is to like see him with her and how he plays with her and holds her and comforts her. And, I've never seen this side of him. And so it's really like, it touches my heart just to kind of see that, that side to him that is, a parent now.
Yeah. Therapy is certainly a commendable step, but it raises additional questions. Were these sessions consistent and tailored to address underlying issues, particularly Gypsy's traumatic past? Or were they more of a performative measure to bolster her public image? Gypsy's history of trauma and her ongoing journey of self-discovery could influence her parenting style, making targeted therapy an essential rather than optional part of her preparation. As Gypsy recounts the story of Aurora's birth, her narrative takes on an almost idealized tone. She explained, "I went in at 6 centimeters dilated and they gave me the epidural. 4 hours later, I was still 6 centimeters, so they gave me Pitocin to speed things up."
I went in at 6 centimeters dilated, and then they gave me the epidural, and then they put the catheter in because they're like, you're not going to be able to have control over your bladder. So they put the catheter in, and they did all that after the epidural, so I didn't feel none of that. 4 hours later, I was still only 6 centimeters. So they had given me Pitocin to kind of speed things up a little bit.
Right.
And then I took like a 2-hour nap. And then I wake up from my 2-hour nap. They check my cervix. I'm 10 centimeters dilated. And they're like, okay, my doctor's like, it's time to push. And I'm like, my eyes got so big. Christy can't even tell you that my eyes got so big because I'm like, oh my God, here it comes.
Her delivery at 36 weeks and 3 days, considered preterm, raises medical questions. Preterm deliveries often come with complications such as underdeveloped fetal lungs and the need for medical intervention, yet Gypsy's account skips over these challenges entirely. She added, "I took a 2-hour nap after they gave me the epidural. When I woke up, they checked me and I was 10 centimeters dilated. My doctor was like, it's time to push, and my eyes got so big." This portrayal of a smooth, almost effortless progression contrasts with typical preterm labor experiences where complications are far more common. Was this account simplified for narrative purposes, or does it gloss over important details about the medical realities of her situation? Gypsy's focus on presenting her journey as calm and controlled raises broader questions about her need to manage public perception. Her narrative seems crafted to preempt criticism and doubts about her fitness as a mother. However, this heavy focus on projecting a perfect image could signal underlying insecurities about her ability to meet the demands of motherhood. Is Gypsy seeking to convince the public or herself that she's ready for this role? That Gypsy Rose Blanchard's account of her journey into motherhood raises intriguing questions about the narrative she's presenting. Her portrayal of labor as straightforward and almost effortless, marked by comments like, "I'm so blessed to have had the birth experience I did. I didn't feel a thing. The epidural worked absolute wonders," appears polished and free of complications.
I tell you, I am so blessed to have the birth experience that I did because I did not feel a thing. The epidural worked absolutely like wonders. And, you watch movies where, the women are screaming and it's like, push and all that stuff. That was not my experience.
Well, I knew you had to press that button again because when you had first told me you got it, I was like, you had a long ways before she came.
Yeah.
However, this sanitized version leaves gaps that invite scrutiny. While epidurals can provide significant pain relief, their use alongside Pitocin often comes with side effects such as stalled labor, reduced pushing efficiency, or the need for additional interventions like forceps or cesarean delivery. By omitting these possibilities, Gypsy may be glossing over medical complexities to shape a more palatable story. As you learn, this curated narrative could serve as a mechanism to elicit sympathy or admiration, portraying her as resilient and capable even in the face of potential challenges. However, it also distances her account from the harsh realities many mothers, especially those with preterm deliveries, face. Preterm babies, like Gypsy's daughter Aurora, who was born at 36 weeks and 3 days, often require specialized post-delivery care, including time in the NICU or close developmental monitoring. Gypsy's lack of mention of these details suggests either a cautious simplification for public consumption or a deliberate choice to keep certain struggles private. While this is understandable, such selective transparency complicates the credibility of her story. How much of her account is designed to garner sympathy and how much reflects actual events? Motherhood has continued to present challenges for Gypsy. She admitted, I'm running on 4 hours of sleep. I sleep when she sleeps, but it's still a challenge.
It was at 1:30 in the morning, so I mean, it's not like people were staking
Aurora
out
knew
or
what she was
anything.
doing.
So
Good job, Aurora. Aurora's like, I got you, Mom. Go late at night.
yeah, it was late at night, and it was very unexpected. So I mean,
You shocked me.
I doubt anybody was, lurking around the hospital at 1:30 in the mornings.
I know it worked out perfectly.
That would be creepy. But we're doing good. Yeah, I saw a couple of videos that are circulating around that there's this rumor that Christy's taking care of Aurora, which is completely untrue. I'm like, I'm watching these videos, having 4 hours of sleep, getting up every 2 hours to feed her, change her. Like, I do everything, with the exception of Ken helping, of course. Like, we take shifts, and like, if I change her, Ken will feed her. We're doing the best we can as parents, and we're doing pretty good.
While relatable for many new parents, this statement raises questions about her claim to handle everything herself. Chronic sleep deprivation, as extensively documented in psychological studies, impairs cognitive function, decision-making, and emotional regulation. Could Gypsy's fatigue be affecting her parenting? Is she downplaying external assistance to maintain the image of a self-reliant household? Gypsy described a teamwork dynamic with her husband, Ken, adding, Aurora wakes up every hour and 45 minutes to 2.5 hours at night. Ken and I take shifts. If I feed her, Ken changes her and vice versa. This paints a picture of balance, but the physical and mental toll of such a demanding schedule invites further scrutiny. Research suggests that even with shared responsibilities, the absence of a broader support system, such as extended family or professional caregivers, can lead to burnout. Is it possible that additional help is being intentionally concealed to reinforce her image of independence? Adding a relatable touch, Gypsy shared, I came across a video about transferring a baby from your arms to the bassinet without waking them up, and it's so relatable.
I came across a lot of videos, like my algorithm is all baby stuff now.
That's awesome.
I reposted this one video that is so relatable. And it's the transfer from arm to bassinet, and like you hold your breath hoping that it'll go a smooth transition and they'll stay asleep. I was like, this is super real.
While humorous, such anecdotes can act as deflection tools, steering focus away from more serious aspects of caregiving. Highlighting these minor struggles may obscure gaps in addressing Aurora's developmental needs or other significant challenges. Could this focus on lighthearted relatability be a deliberate strategy to garner sympathy and divert attention from potential shortcomings in her parenting narrative? Notably absent from Gypsy's account are the specific challenges of raising a preterm baby, such as feeding complications, developmental delays, or ongoing medical monitoring. These omissions could indicate a desire to simplify the story for public acceptance or a reluctance to acknowledge struggles that may contradict the image of a capable and composed mother. This selective storytelling deepens the questions surrounding her caregiving approach and the potential discrepancies between her reality and the narrative she's crafting. Gypsy Rose Blanchard's journey into motherhood has sparked a whirlwind of public fascination, marked by her insistence on privacy while simultaneously navigating the spotlight. She recently shared, "Family, I have chosen not to post pictures of her even on my private Facebook."
That I think we could both come to an agreement on. To where it's still protecting her, but you can still have your moment to where you can announce as a proud father. And so once we had an understanding about that, then he posted the picture. Me, on the other hand, I'm still not going to post a picture. I don't even post pictures on my private Facebook. So,
Right.
Yeah,
I wouldn't either, because you just never know. And I think that you're doing what is right.
This statement seems to emphasize her desire for discretion, yet it stands in contrast to her willingness to engage in public discussions about her daughter, Aurora, and selectively release details about her life. This contradiction raises eyebrows. Does this privacy narrative serve as a shield against criticism while still keeping Gypsy relevant in the public eye? Addressing rumors about her parenting, Gypsy said, "I do everything for her, with Ken's help, of course. Christy is there if I need her, but Ken and I are handling everything as parents." While this paints a picture of a hands-on parenting approach, it invites skepticism. Caring for a newborn, especially for first-time parents, is a daunting task that often requires a robust support system to prevent burnout and ensure the baby's well-being. Gypsy's insistence on managing everything herself may be another attempt to project self-reliance and confidence. But is it realistic, or is she overstating her role to elicit admiration? Interestingly, Gypsy's vague acknowledgement of external help, such as Christy being available if needed, suggests she may be downplaying the actual level of support she relies on. Could she be omitting key details to construct a narrative that aligns with her need for public validation? This selective transparency only deepens doubts about the authenticity of her statements and whether her portrayal of independence is more about public perception than reality. Gypsy's emotional connection to Aurora is evident in her words. "I'm rocking it. I've got my baby priorities on. I am a mama now. I take my responsibilities seriously," she proudly shared.
I don't ask Christy to take her and do everything. Christy is there in case I need her, but for the most part, I'm rocking it, and as they say, I'm just doing the damn thing. Like, I've got my big girl panties on. I'm a mom now, and I'm taking my responsibilities seriously. But nobody sees that stuff. So the rumors fly.
While this confidence is commendable, could it also be masking deeper insecurities or doubts about her capabilities? Psychology suggests that overstatements of confidence, especially in deeply personal roles, can sometimes be a coping mechanism to counter internal fears or feelings of inadequacy. Is Gypsy's declaration an attempt to convince herself as much as others? Or Gypsy also spoke warmly about Ken's involvement, stating, "Seeing him with her, how he plays with her and comforts her, it touches my heart." While this depiction paints a supportive co-parenting dynamic, the overly idealized tone raises questions. Could this portrayal be an attempt to deflect attention from potential challenges within their partnership? Research into family dynamics often suggests that highly curated accounts may conceal underlying tensions or imbalances. Is Gypsy presenting an idealized version of their relationship for public consumption, or is this truly reflective of their reality? Gypsy's decision to announce Aurora's birth also drew attention. She explained, "I didn't want to sell the announcement to the media. I wanted us to have a moment to actually be happy in this moment and not worry about what others said." While this claim suggests a desire for genuine happiness, it contrasts with her willingness to engage with media outlets like TMZ. Is this an attempt to maintain control over the narrative while still capitalizing on publicity? Gypsy added, "We agreed on a picture that still protected her but allowed Ken to have his moment as a proud father." While thoughtful on the surface, this decision raises concerns about whether it marks the beginning of using Aurora's life as a way to stay in the public eye. Gypsy's foray into motherhood mirrors the complexities of her life story, filled with meticulous preparation, protective instincts, and a desire to project love and resilience. However, her narrative is riddled with contradictions, omissions, and moments that warrant closer scrutiny. Whether it's her claims of total independence, the polished simplicity of her labor story, or her selective approach to privacy, Gypsy's account leaves more questions than answers. As she continues to navigate this new chapter, only time will reveal whether her actions align with her words. For now, the world watches, questions, and searches for the truth behind her carefully constructed narrative.